Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to our toy review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem Leonardo. And really quickly before I jump right to the review, so I have, as of now, as of this video, I have not seen the movie. In fact, I'm reviewing this on August 2nd, so there you go. The movie just literally dropped into theaters today. So I just want to mention that so that way, if you guys could be at least a little bit respectful in the comments, not to spoil anything, just in case you've seen the film already, you know. And because I haven't really seen the movie, I'm just simply reviewing the figure as how it is, you know. And on top of that, I mean, it's great to see Playmates finally pumping out some new Ninja Turtle figures, and I'm very excited. I know that this was kind of last minute too, because I didn't really tell you guys that I was gonna review some Ninja Turtle figures, but you know what? Why not? I think it was about time, especially for this channel. So yeah, I'm very happy to finally review a Ninja Turtle figure, especially one of this caliber. I mean, it looks very interesting. And another thing. Originally, I was gonna review all four of the Ninja Turtles in one video, but I feel like it wouldn't really be fair because I want to review at least, each figure like individually just to kind of talk about their aesthetic, talk about their design, and talk a little bit about like, like just how great they are and how it definitely matches a lot very closely to how they are in the film too. This is like one of those like many few figures where they actually do look somewhat identical to the film. Obviously not 100%, but you get the point. So of course, without further ado, let's begin. But before I review the figure, of course, I gotta show you guys the little card back it comes in. And I just dropped it. Give me one moment. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so when you go to Target or Walmart stores or wherever you get your Ninja Turtle figures from, they come in this sort of like card back, as you can see here. I already opened it up because, I kind of have to. I mean, that's the only way to get the figure out. And you can see Leonardo right on the side. He's the leader of the team, obviously. So, of course, like I just had to review him first. So when it comes to like the individual turtles, you'll see each of them on the side. But when it comes to other characters like Splinter and some of the other villains, you'll see all four of the turtles, in the front. And of course, we got the Mutant Mayhem. You got the Nickelodeon logo right there, at least. And it looks beautiful. I like the way that it looks. It pops. It makes you want to pick it up, if you know what I mean. We got the other figures are available during Wave 1. And yes, this is Wave 1 because they actually did show a couple of the later figures are going to come out, like Mondo Gecko, Scumbug, Genghis, and all that. So that's really great. So you got a nice, interesting roster of characters you got going on. So of course you got the Turtles, Splinter, Rocksteady Bebop, the new villain Superfly, and then Leatherhead. And of course, just like, as always, they always had like those nice like clip and collect kind of card thing kind of going on. The ones where like you could like kind of cut in if you want to keep it. That's really cool, and I love that they still kind of stuck with that. Like for like even ever since the toy line first began back in the 80s or so. This is really great. If you want to pause and read this, that's perfectly fine. And yeah, all right. So I'll probably just kind of leave this here in the background right here, just to kind of show you the figure. So they kind of go around the like I want to say like the 4-inch range. So they're kind of small figures, but that's perfectly fine because that's pretty much how most of these Ninja Turtle figures function. They usually don't really go any bigger, except for the 2007 TMNT movie where they made figures where they were like slightly taller. I think it was from 2007. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that, but But anyway, I really want to talk a lot about the design. So you know what? Just to kind of get a nice little input, I'll probably put this to the side and just take a look at the figure, because what's very interesting to note about these new figures is how they kind of had their own sort of like certain style to it. Like the movie is very artistic in a way, and a lot of people seem to kind of compare the animation to like Spider-Man into Spider-Verse and all that. They kind of do like those sort of weird comparisons, and I could kind of see it, but not exactly. I think the art style that they use for the movie, despite it being 3D animated, it's very interesting. As you could definitely see a lot of the effort that they put into trying to capture that with the figures themselves. So that's really great. And I'm just kind of rotating, showing you around how he looks and all that. He has a nice little smirk on his face, which is great. And I love the green too. It's a very it's not a bright green, but it's like definitely when you compare it to other Ninja Turtle figures, it's definitely bright for sure, which is nice. I mean, not counting like Rise of TMNT, where I know that those specific incarnation of the turtle are meant to be like slightly more on the colorful side, and I will do the comparison towards the end because I can't help but kind of feel like there's like a little bit of a like not a resemblance in the way that they're the same, but like they're both aiming for like a artistic interpretation. But like I say, this is a 3D animated film, while that was a 2D animated TV show. But you guys get the point. But these are very nice figures. I love how like they're fun. Like they have this weird aesthetic to it where I want to have a whole bunch of them, even if they're all the same. And technically, the toy line's been kind of killing it with that because we have been getting some nice little variants here and there, which I will review somewhere in the future. And of course, we go over sort of the basic articulation. And for how basic it is, you can still get some pretty nice poses with it, which is always great in my opinion. You know, that's very nice and fun. I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me of like the classic Turtles for some reason. I don't know. Do you guys see it? I don't know. It's hard to really explain it. It looks really nice, and I should also probably mention that the paint job is it's good. You know, I mean, it's nothing else to say. I don't see any. There's no like kind of like splotches or anything. There's no sort of any kind of mistakes. And I mean, I guess I could kind of show you a little bit, especially around the eyes too. I'm very surprised that they managed to kind of do it nice and perfect around the eyes. Of got the nice little greening teeth. Very classic TMNT for sure. Like if you guys ever watched the original cartoon or at least looked at the original toys, you'll definitely know what I mean. For sure. And you know, I forgot to mention the detail too, especially look around like in the arms and legs, you see a little bit of like the texture because they're kind of like reptilian in a way. You know, I mean, they're turtles. What do you expect? Even like the belt too. I honestly I can't move on without the review without talking about this. I'm very curious to when they were designing the characters for the movie. I wonder if they ever gain any inspiration from the old toys from like the 80s because like I love how they have like the little insignia. They got the letter L kind of going on, you know, like the little initial on each of the turtles' belt buckle. And I love that they implemented that with this figure. And I can't help but feeling that that's like almost the same L2 from the original. And if you guys don't understand what I mean by that, I'll definitely show you towards the end. And of course, they got ninja stars. Just because. I mean, obviously they're part of the sculpt. You don't really take them out or anything, and you know, that's about it. I guess if I want to kind of move his arms to kind of show you a little bit more of the figure. Very standard TMNT fig. And of course, you got the nice little swords too. But we'll talk about that when I show you guys the accessories. It says 2023 right there because, you know, we're in 2023, I think. I don't think we went to a different dimension, did we? Especially with the whole, like, alien talk on the news lately. No joke. Yeah. Alright, so let me show you a little bit more of the articulation. I'm just going to kind of sit them down right here. Let me put them... Let me try and fix my camera too, because I want to make sure to bask in this glory, because I hate that my camera is doing that stupid focus thing. So let me see, focus. There we go. So if I counted correctly, the figure has about 13 points of articulation. So of course the head can move all the way full 360 with no issues. You probably could pop it off too if you wanted to, because I know some of those figures had that capacity, but I'd rather not do it. I don't want to mess up this very great looking figure, you know. Arms move pretty good. In fact, they actually move so good to where you can even make him like hold his sword, so that way if you want to make him go right into combat, you know, that's perfect. You know, the legs, they could move up that far and they could go down that far. You kind of have to kind of test it around a little bit, especially if you want to pose him, because he actually got some feet articulation, which is nice. I mean, they don't like move up and down, they only move side to side, but that's still pretty good. You still gotta give some, you know, compliments on that. Of course, you got the nice little peg hole, so that way if you want to put them on any sort of platform, that's good too. And another thing I want to add, I don't mean to talk about Rise of TMNT so much, but even their figures had the whole articulated foot thing, which I think is very nice. So I hope that for like future incarnations, you know, I hope that we get to definitely see more of that. And this figure is so fun to hold, like it's incredible. I can't wait to definitely review the other guys soon. But hold up, we're not done yet. I gotta show you guys the accessories. Let me see, and look at that. Look how perfect he is standing up. It's incredible. I love what Playmates have done with this. So enough brag, let's get right to the accessories. So if you've seen how the figures look in package, you would notice that Playmates have actually brought back the whole weapons racket ordeal, which I think is a very nice touch for sure, because If in case any of you guys are not aware, during the original Ninja Turtles toy line back in the 80s or so, the four turtles, Splinter and Shredder, they came with like the weapon rackets where, you know, the weapons were obviously attached, so you kind of had to kind of take them out, whether you're using scissors or some sort of kind of little contraption. Yeah, you know, so yeah, originally this had a whole bunch of the figures, but they were kind of like attached together, so as you can see, I kind of had to sort of take them out little by little. And luckily, they're easy to kind of take out without messing up the weapons too much, because I know during the original toy line that was always an issue. So luckily, we got some nice clean weapons. So that's good to know. And of course, the weapons racket's always nice too. I mean, you know, kind of stands, and you could use it for anything pretty much. This never really had much of a purpose. You can like knock it down, or if you wanted to, you could hang something. Like he does come with a couple of daggers, which is very neat. You know, he comes with these, so if you wanted to, I did, like, you know, you could kind of hang them and stuff. Although, don't get me wrong, not every weapon has like a way of putting it. You kind of have to just make it up to your imagination as to how you want to do it. But for the most part, I think that's a very unique touch that they kind of put on there. And for the most part, it seems like pretty much all the figures in this entire wave have it. So I'm kind of curious to how the second wave is going to turn out. But you know what? Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So let's go over the rest of the accessories because he actually has a lot. So let's get right to it. So of course, not counting his iconic weapons, he comes with a whole ton of accessories. He got a couple of daggers, a ninja sword, a knife, mutagen ooze. Well, I don't know if that's what they call it in the film, but he comes with a canister or whatever, a slice of pizza, and of course a nice little baby version of himself. Which that's nice. I'm very glad that they come with that. Very unique as well because most of the turtle figures don't really do that as often. So I hope you guys don't mind. I definitely want to go over the weapons one by one because there's a lot of interesting things to kind of uncover. So the three daggers he comes with, what's funny is that these are actually very similar to the ones that we actually got with the 2012 Nickelodeon series Leonardo. And just to do a nice comparison, I actually do have that accessory with me just to kind of do a side-by-side comparison. So they're not exactly the same as you can see, and I want the camera to kind of focus. There you go. So you see, they're not exactly the same, but you could kind of see what they were sort of going for, obviously. And obviously, like I said, you had the little kind of plastic bits where I was kind of taking it off from the plastic tree. So yeah, the 2012 Nickelodeon figures, they didn't have weapon rackets. They just have like plastic trees that you had to pretty much like yank off with the weapons. And for any Ninja Turtle connoisseur, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Josh, that's not where the accessory originated from. And you're half right, because I have another version, sorry, of that exact same one. But this one is actually from the Rise of TMNT toy line. If you bought either the Battle Shell Leo or the Battle Shell Donnie, they came with like a bonus little secret weapon, and I know that this was one of them. I just don't remember which pack was from the figure, but you get the point. So yeah, Leo, he comes with three of these. If you want, you could definitely kind of pose him doing that. He has no issues with that for the most part. They're pretty standard. But just because I've been very positive about this figure, that doesn't mean that I don't have anything negative to say about it. Trust me. So you see, you could kind of pose them like that if you wanted to, just to kind of get an idea. Heck, if you want, you can even like put the daggers in his fingers if you want. Although I don't really recommend that because you probably don't want to mess with, you know, the opening of his hands. As you can see, you can make him kind of do like a, you know what I mean? Like just kind of do those like weird throwing daggers, you know, like right at his enemies because why not? Comes with a ninja star, you know, because he's a ninja, you know, why wouldn't he come with one? And they look to be, you know, pretty much almost identical to the ones that are on his belt, so that's pretty good. And same thing, you know, you could kind of put on his hand if you wanted to, either that or, you know, I mean, ninja stars are ninja stars. They never really hold well on the turtle's hands anyway. That's always been a thing since like the beginning of the line, so I don't have a problem with that. My favorite accessory though is definitely the knife. I don't know why. It's kind of a funny looking knife, obviously, you know. But I like the details on it, so that's very appreciative. I mean, despite the accessories being one color, obviously, it's very nice to kind of see all that for sure. So yeah, you can either like put him like that, or if you want him to like kind of do like in a sort of stabby type of position, he's gonna sneak up on the enemy or so. I mean, I don't know if you want him to do that, but It has that, I guess that's kind of ironic because what's interesting to know about the movie is that the voice actors for the Turtles are actual teenagers, so that's pretty unique. Actually, you know what? That's very unique because from what I've heard, it seems like that this is the very first time they've ever done that. But I guess my next favorite accessory, of course, is the Ooze Canister. And I love how it's like cracked up. You can see like the detailing, you can see like some of the stuff kind of oozing out of there. I don't know if that's what they're called in the film. I don't know. Like I said, you probably have to kind of watch the movie to kind of get more context because I don't know if these have a specific name. It's always been either Ooze Canister or Retro Mutagen Ooze. I'm not sure. And of course, if you wanted to, you can make him hold on to it, I guess. I said I guess because he doesn't have like the best grip on it. I mean, it still looks cool. I don't know why he wants to hang on to it though. I mean, he doesn't want to get mutated any further, right? Fun facts, actually. During the 90s or so, they actually wanted to make a fourth Ninja Turtle movie where the turtles would actually evolve. But obviously the plans never really went through, and they decided to just do Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, and we all know how well that went. But before I move on, I just gotta show you guys one more thing about the Ooze Canister. So obviously, this is not the first time we've had turtle figures that have Ooze Canisters. So you see, here's the one that comes with the Leonardo figure, and of course, here's some of the other ones from the past. During the mutations subline in the late 90s or like mid 90s, they used to come with like these nice little translucent Ooze Canisters. And of course, during the original movies when they came out, of course, Playmates made figures of those. So of course, they have Ooze Canisters of their own. I only have three. I got one from Movie Star Splinter, Movie Star Donnie, and then Movie Star Foot Soldier. These are really old, obviously, as you can tell. And like I said, these are the only ones I own. So unfortunately, because of that, I don't have any of the original Movie Star Turtles except for Donnie. But we're reviewing Leo, so I can't do a proper comparison with that. I thought I'd just kind of show you guys the idea, just to show you the evolution. And of course, that's not the only figures to have Ooze Canisters either. Back in the 2003 TMNT cartoon, I know Splinter, he did came with one, so at least keep that in mind in case, I don't know, maybe you're like me, you want to buy a whole budget of Ninja Turtles now. And of course, a slice of pizza. Pepperoni to be exact. And it's flat, man. I'm sorry, Leo. I don't think you got a good deal here. This looks kind of, it looks very plain. I love how you can see the marbling from the plastic. It's like a plain gray pizza. Now, before anybody complains, oh, it's unpainted. That's not, and it's like, well, it's not the first time. Even during the old days of the old TMNT toy line, they have pizza slices that were always unpainted too. So this is nothing new, So it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. But of course, the most interesting one of all is obviously the baby turtle. He comes with one in his default form before he touched the ooze. And of course, we could kind of go over how nicely it looks here. It's only one plain color, obviously, one green. That's supposed to be like his kind of skin color, which is fine. That's okay. I'm not expecting like Picasso. I mean, this figure's very well painted for the most part, so I can't complain. He does have this hole underneath, though. I don't really know exactly what it was for. I thought maybe you were supposed to like maybe put him somewhere around here, but that's not the case, so I don't know, maybe that's hinting at something for the future. Maybe that's for the sewer layer playset. I have no idea. Make it up as you go, because I don't know why he has a hole underneath. So yeah, this figure's nice, and of course the other figures, you can only imagine all the nice accessories they got. But remember, guys, like I said, just because I said a lot of positive things about this figure, that doesn't mean that I don't have nothing negative about it. I do. Notice how throughout the whole video, he's been having a little bit of issues holding his stuff. How do you think this is gonna go? So, honestly, I give this figure a 9 out of 10. So, why am I giving it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10? Well, sorry to kind of ruin the fun for you guys. Okay, so that's pretty good, right? But obviously, if you play around with the figure a lot, his swords are gonna come off eventually, which admittedly it is a bit of a bummer. He holds it very nicely when he's standing, or trying to be all brave and stuff, fighting against Superfly. But obviously, if you play around with it with other turtle figures, it is going to fall down frequently. And for some reason, I only see this issue with him. I don't have this issue with the other turtles at all. So that is a bit unfortunate. So I'll give you guys an example. I have the original 1986 figure right here with me to do a comparison. You know what? What do you know? The L is pretty much the same. Now that's neat. But obviously you can see how he kind of grip his weapons nicely, and you know that's kind of the issue that you're gonna suffer with a little bit. That it's gonna fall off his hands a lot. Like I said, he's the only turtle that does this, so that's a bit of a bummer. But don't take that away from how good the figure is. Trust me, you know. I mean, at least he has a nice holster. Just to kind of get an idea. Show the back. You can also see the sizing too. See, he's slightly bit taller. Nothing bad though, you know? And of course, this is the original OG turtle from the 80s, as you can see from the shell. And yes, you guys, I will definitely review this figure somewhere in the future. I don't know when, but he looks like a classic, you know? Unfortunately, I don't own the 2003 Leonardo figure, which is very sad. But I do have the, at least the battle shell, like Leonardo figure from the 2012 toy line. And yeah, don't get me wrong, like right now he's having issues too holding his sword, so he's not the only one, you know? And then of course, Michael Bay movie turtle, you know, because movies, you know? It's been a while since we've gotten a turtle movie, so I might as well. This version right here is actually an exclusive that came with the Turtle Van. I think that was a Target exclusive though, because obviously these are pretty rare, so alright. Because if you own this figure, the paint job is definitely very different. This is not like a basic version. And then cool, we, you know, just the sequel, Out of the Shadows, which, okay, I guess he's not the only one that's gonna keep dropping his weapons, you know? But at least he's not as bad as Leonardo from Rise of TMNT, which, you know, I mean, looks pretty neat. Kind of nice to see the evolution of Leo's right here. And of course, I just gotta get out his swords. Even though he only has one blade in the show, obviously he has two, but he cannot, for the love of God, cannot hold either one of them, except for maybe this one, because it's a little more on the thick side. But you get the point, you know. Out of all the turtles, he does kind of holds it the worst, which is a bit of a bummer. And his foot is kind of wonky, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it because we got ourselves a nice better Leonardo right here. So let's do the nice little comparison just to do that little evolutionary thing. You know, just to kind of show you guys how they all look together. A lot of these figures complement each other pretty well too. So at least you got that to kind of thank for it. Do a little bit of comparison. Let me put this away so that we don't break the immersion. Like I say, it's a bummer I don't have the original 2003 figures, but, you know, at least I could show you guys sort of how they all kind of look together, and they look really, really nice. So yeah, that's about it. That pretty much ends the review right there. So the next figure I'm going to review is Raphael. So to show you guys a bit of a preview, this is how he looks. And yeah, thank you guys for joining in. I really do like these figures a lot. Actually, I think, judging by the timing of me reviewing this is definitely like the most longest toy review I've done. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it, because I enjoyed it a lot. I like this figure despite the whole weapon grip issue. Lots of fun accessories, and this toy line is definitely going to be fun for sure. This is only the first figure, so stay tuned for next time, guys. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry, leave a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one, so peace out.